Hi, this is Josh Marshall from TPM Media. It's Wednesday, February 13th, 2008, and today we're wrapping up the results of last night's Potomac primary. The polls predicted that Barack Obama was going to have a big night last night. It was actually even bigger than predicted. His lowest margin was 23% in Maryland. He beat Hillary Clinton by 29% in Virginia and 51% in the District of Columbia. So where does that bring us on delegates? You know that Barack Obama was already ahead among pledged delegates, but as of last night, he's now ahead in delegates, even if you count the superdelegates. Now, on just pledged delegates, he seems to be a little over 100 delegates ahead of Hillary Clinton. The media consensus for what the count is when you include superdelegates seems to be around 30 delegate margin for Barack Obama. Now let's go back to the system that the Democrats use in their primaries, proportional allocation of delegates. So let's assume, for the sake of discussion, that Barack Obama is 110 or 120 pledged delegates ahead of Hillary Clinton. Now the rest of February looks really good for Barack Obama, and Hillary is waiting for the primaries in Ohio and Texas to try to come back. But the thing is, at this point, because of that proportional representation, it's going to be really hard for Clinton to win big enough in Texas and Ohio to make up the margin that Barack Obama is putting together. Now last night, Newsweek's Howard Fineman went on MSNBC and said that both campaigns now see it as unlikely that Hillary Clinton can make up the difference in pledged delegates. So what her strategy is to try to keep the margin as close as possible among pledged delegates, and if it's small, then she can hope to make it up with superdelegates. Take a look at what Fineman said.
Well, in talking to top officials of both the Obama campaign and the Clinton campaign, here's what I think is really going on behind the scenes. The bottom line is that I think both would agree it's highly unlikely, both sides would agree that it's highly unlikely that Hillary Clinton is going to finish this primary season with a lead in pledged delegates. Virtually impossible. The game for Hillary Clinton is to somehow keep her the distance behind that she is as minimal as possible. The highest number they could probably expect is to be behind by maybe 30 pledged delegates. It could be as many as 200. Now, the key difference here is this. If it's a relatively small and manageable number, which may just be a pipe dream for the Clinton camp, but that's what they're focusing on, they will then argue that they are free to use the superdelegates to try to somehow wrest the nomination from Barack Obama, even though he led in pledged delegates. But the bigger that number gets, politically, strategically, the more difficult it would get for Hillary Clinton to rely successfully on superdelegates, because if she did so and somehow managed to take the nomination that way, she would unloose a real firestorm within the Democratic Party. So that's what's going on here, and the reason Hillary is fighting everywhere she can is not because she thinks she can win, but because she's trying to shrink that number. Even as the Obama campaign tonight is telling me that they're 125 delegates ahead in terms of pledged delegates.
That's Fineman's argument, and I think the numbers pretty much do add up. So what I think you're going to see over the coming weeks is a really spirited and maybe even nasty debate about the legitimacy of winning the nomination with unelected superdelegates. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll give you the latest polling numbers from Ohio and Texas.
At the tone, leave a message. We'll get back.
Hey, Verestifier. I don't know enough about him yet to know if he's the most honest, but Ron Paul definitely seems to be the most straightforward candidate out there.
Yeah, Ron Paul seems honest, but I think of the viable candidates, I'd go with Barack Obama.
Okay, we're back. Now, the one thing about Ohio and Texas is that a lot of people really didn't think that the race was going to still be going when it got to these two states. So there's actually been very little polling. But here's the latest. There was a poll that came out of Ohio yesterday, that's February 12th, that had a 17-point margin for Hillary Clinton. In Texas, the most recent one is from February 1st, and that had a 10-point margin for Hillary Clinton. That's the latest. We'll be back tomorrow with our weekly Campaign 2008 Roundup. I'm Josh Marshall from TPM Media, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.